No, Donald Trump will likely win re-election because nearly 17 million Americans have been purged from voter rolls over the past 4 years. Investigative reporter Greg Palast, the man who discovered how Bush stole the presidency in 2000, the guy who discovered how the Deepwater Horizon oil spill actually happened, the guy who revealed how California was stolen from Bernie Sanders by forcing provisional ballots on everyone, and the guy who discovered where I left my underwear that crazy night in Vegas. That guy has uncovered yet another way our sham democracy has been rigged. And he reveals it in his new book, How Trump Stole 2020. Between 2014 and 2016, the number of voters purged for moving their residence had soared to 16,696,470. 1 in 12 registered Americans. Over 16.5 million Americans. And guess what? Most of them didn't actually move. And almost all of them didn't actually move out of their state, meaning almost all of them, 16.7 million people, should be able to vote, but won't be allowed to when they show up to the polling place in November. To give you an idea of just how much 16.7 million purged voters could matter in this year's election, Trump won the state of Michigan against Hillary Clinton in 2016 by 10,704 votes. That's 0.065% of the number of people purged across the nation for moving residences when they didn't really move. And please, please, please keep in mind, I am not saying anything wonderful about Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden. That's not the point. I just want a legit election. So I will call out all election meddling. I'll call out fraud, suppression, all of it. I just want an actual election. Please, please, please. I just don't know why you won't let us have an election. I just want. Well, that's not true. I actually do know it's because you're corrupt sociopaths who don't want to give up control, but still, please. I mean, 16.7 million? That's too many. That's really too many. It's too many. Actually, it's a lot more than 16.7 million, because that's just the people who were purged for supposedly changing residences when they didn't. That's not even counting the people purged by way of interstate cross-check, which I've covered before on the show, or purged by way of closed polling places, or thrown out mail-in votes, etc. Yes, even though some people right now are pushing for a complete mail-in election this coming November due to the pandemic, Greg Palast reports mail-in ballots are a nightmare. 22% are thrown out. Moved to 80% mail-in voting, and 25 million people would lose their votes. The powers that be can throw out mail-in ballots for anything. It doesn't matter. It could be that the signature doesn't quite match, or it could be that the person had a stray mark or a rogue booger on the page. Donald Trump versus Joe Biden, can you blame them? Can you blame them? Here's another example from Palast's new book. Korean Americans were asked to sign their mail-in ballots like everyone else. Thousands of them signed their name in Korean, their native language. All of those were thrown out, every last one. So once you know that so many Americans, mostly minorities and young people, will be disenfranchised, you have to ask, where is the Democratic Party? Why aren't they acting like their panties are in a bunch, their hair's on fire, and their balls are in a vice grip? Why not? Well, as with everything involving the Democrats, it's a beautiful combination, a creme brulee of incompetence and corruption. It's a crime brulee. Some of the voter suppression that they don't know about, they then find out and they think, let's not make it a big issue. Because if we do, people will start asking about the primary elections too, and we totally rigged those against Bernie Sanders. Oh man. So let's not discuss the kicking of voters off the rolls and the such. It's a real can of worms. So instead, they and the liberal-aligned media never talk about the millions of Americans purged from the rolls. Millions. It's insane. 1 out of 12 voters. It's insane. It's ridiculous. It's pathetic. We all have a right to participate in this democracy. We have a right to that ballot.
GoJNN.com.
Thanks, Lee.
Thank you, Lee.